On to the next one. So up next I have next to me Marleen.
Hi.
Hi Marleen.
Good evening.
You also are wearing two hats tonight, actually, or not tonight, but you are wearing two hats. You're part of the board of 2Tokens.
Yes, that's correct.
And you're the CEO of Nx'change.
That's correct as well. And from out of that position, I lead the next generation capital use case, which we're going to talk about later on tonight. And we have two extra guests joining us right now.
Indeed, and that's quite interesting because we have two guests coming from two different banks in the Netherlands, the ABN AMRO bank and the Rabobank.
Yes, so we're slowly moving from like everything that's theoretical and on paper, and now into what we are actually doing with all this knowledge, with all this technology. Because what 2Tokens really is about is by applying it to practical use cases. And tonight, Djuri and Martijn are joining us. I don't know if they'd like to introduce themselves.
Djuri and Martijn. So Martijn is from the ABN AMRO bank, and Djuri is the head of blockchain development at the Rabo.
Yes.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Can you hear me?
I can.
All right.
I'm as well. Hearing.
I'm hearing. Do we have both of you on the line? I hope so.
Okay, but else we'll start with Djuri, because Djuri is leading the blockchain team in Rabobank. And well, actually today or this week is a special week because two of our biggest banks of the Netherlands joined the 2Tokens project, which we are really proud of. And having said that, that's not the only highlight of tonight or this week. The Rabobank is the first bank to provide a utility token with a bank account in the Netherlands. And that is also great news in the Netherlands, a real big step forward. And I don't know, maybe Djuri would like to explain something about that.
Yeah, thank you for the introduction already. Yeah, so I'm the lead of the blockchain team at Rabobank. The team is called the Blockchain Acceleration Lab. And together with my colleagues, also from compliance, we're really proud that we managed to provide a bank account to the 2Tokens Foundation, because we see a lot of interesting possibilities for tokenization. And I think I will explain a little bit more about that later on in this session.
Yes, because maybe you can share a little bit more about what is actually going on within the bank. And we had a chat this afternoon, and you commented about two projects which you are working on, but also about some new initiatives which you have in mind, also flowing out of this whole COVID-19 situation which we are in. So, Djuri, what has Rabobank already done within the tokenization space? Because you already took some steps, right? You have some live projects.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so tokenization is something you can do with the help of blockchain technology. So we have been working at Rabobank starting from 2014 already with blockchain. So it started a lot with the proof of concept, for example, with Ripple. And I'm really proud that we already have two projects named WeTrade and Congo already into production. So WeTrade is, for example, a blockchain platform for trade finance, and Congo for trade commodity finance. At this moment, those platforms do use blockchain, but not yet for payments. So they don't use tokenization yet. But I really hope that also because of the work done by 2Tokens and during the roundtable with the partners, we can apply that there as well.
Yes, because one of the use cases of 2Tokens is a payment token, right? Or a utility token which can be used for payments of services of 2Tokens. So
exactly. Yeah.
So that is in the interest of Rabobank to use tokens as a payment facility.
Yeah, so we see a lot of use cases in several domains we are active in. So, for example, in real estate, so you have the concept called fractional ownership, which is, I think, really interesting. It allows you or everyone who wants to participate in investing in a piece of real estate. And also because of the efficiency of blockchain and the much lower cost, it's also possible to invest for as low as theoretically 1 cent, which I think, it's kind of an extreme example, but I think it also gives a lot of inspiration for many other uses for such.
Okay. And then, so can you share a little bit more about like your views on we talk about this, the use of this new technology and how it can be applied, but where in your views, where do you think that this technology can be applied in the most beneficial way? Because it's very often used as a test case or something, but where do you, if you see 5 years from now, where do you think that we will make the biggest steps by applying this new technology, which we, in certain cases, where we couldn't have done that before, and where token technology will help us, I don't know, having an easier life or, can do stuff that we can't do right now?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting question because I think we only identified just a few of the many use cases. I think it's like asking in 1993, what will the internet become in 5 years? But I think the whole concept of micro investments and also programmable tokens, because I think it's also really interesting. You can add a lot of behavior to the tokens. It allows for many interesting possibilities. Also, in the current situation, so a lot of local companies, self-employed, so Orange, for example, they have quite a hard time. And what I really think is an interesting use case for tokenization is that, for example, as a government, you can give the people of a certain region a token which they can only spend in the local economy. So they can.
I was really blown away when you mentioned that this afternoon. So that actually means that we are creating new sort of local currencies, that we are allowing people to set up their own ecosystems and to use those tokens to really pay for it and to do something with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And how soon can we expect that? Is this sooner, or very long term?
I think that's too early to say. I think we already made took a huge step with Tokenization Netherlands this year. What's also often a big challenge in technology is also the adoption in general. So I'm really hopeful. I think the work that we have done the past year really accelerates a lot of stuff. I think also it's still a difficult situation, of course, but I think it also kind of forced us to work a little bit harder on this as well. So I really hope this will become available really soon.
Okay.
So we have a saying like "build it and they will come," I think in this case that might actually be true. If you're giving out tokens to with a specific purpose to the people in a certain country or an area to help them with whatever it is. To buy food with it or to buy shoes for their kids with for it. People will adopt that pretty quickly because they have an interest in it in that case. So this would be a great use case for tokenization in general, I would say. But also for mankind.
Yes, no, that's why I'm so super excited about it, because hopefully we can also help out with the 2Tokens team and build and work on this use case, because I think that's awesome, because it will definitely be, we already have seen projects on a small scale where it really works. So if Rabobank really wants to take this initiative and bring this into the world, that would be great. So Djuri, is there anything else that you think that we should, I don't know, we're only here together, not with all the listeners and people dialed in. Is there anything that we should know or that you think okay, this is something to pay attention to, this is new, this is like an area that we haven't seen a lot yet? You are in the blockchain space, you are in the center of Rabobank, and see everything that comes along where you think that this should be shared with the audience tonight. And what
I really like about blockchain in general, it's really about collaboration, and I think 2Tokens is a really good example of that. Also, Alex already mentioned the involvement of the Discussion Coalition. It's really something you have to do together, and that's what I really like about these kind of projects, because I think as a large organization, I think we already know we have quite a lot of clients already in our case, especially in the food agricultural sector. And I think, also with the help of technology providers. So in the case of 2Token, Disk provided technology. I think that's really necessary to make it workable. And also the involvement of the regulators in this project, I really like that, because I think that's the only way that you're able to move forward.
Okay, so, thank you very much, Djuri. Speaking of coalitions, we have another speaker tonight, Martijn Siebrand. Is Martijn dialed in already?
He should be dialed in. We had some issues to put them together on the screen. So Martijn should be popping up your screen, I hope.
Okay, ik zal even testen.
I'm hearing
Martijn already.
Martijn, are you there?
Yes, I'm there, sure. I can see myself, but I don't know if the audience can see me as well. But let me introduce myself. Sorry?
Yes, please.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so my name is Martijn Siebrand. I'm working as an ecosystem manager for digital assets within the ABN AMRO Group Innovation. Happy to join the webinar and the 2Tokens initiative.
Yeah, Martijn, you are part of ABN AMRO, responsible for the whole ecosystem, everything that has to do with digital assets specifically. Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Also ABN already has some real interesting use cases where tokenization or blockchain technology is applied, of which one of them we worked on together, which is the Banking as a Service project.
Sure.
Can you share a little bit about that? Because I'm not sure how many people know that this banking as a service concept is there, and therefore players such as us, fintech companies, to be used where you really resolve an issue that we have. Can you share a little bit about the Banking as a Service project?
Yeah, so surely there was a nice announcement I think this week about banking as a service in collaboration with BlockLab and the S&P Global distro energy trading, where a lot of transactions, to be exact, more than 20 million transactions have been done on the blockchain. It's a project for energy trading platform which use AI and blockchain, and all the banking services are facilitated by ABN AMRO Clear Bank with the banking as a service. So that has demonstrated that this platform can be processed in the banking environment and can also handle a lot of transactions.
Yes. So basically, you're providing the cash wallet to the companies, right? Instead of needing to hold cash on behalf of the customers as a fintech company or as an energy trading platform, the cash can now be stored safely at the bank. And then we as fintech companies can use that cash to settle transactions or to move cash around. And that's all done through Hyperledger, I think, right?
Yeah, it's Hyperledger. Yeah, that's sure. Yeah.
And sorry.
No, besides that, Djuri already mentioned Comgo. We are part of that as well. Also, we are in fact, so some trade finance solutions. And as ABN AMRO, we invested early in digital assets holding. And also we have a stake in Solaris Bank, which is from Germany. So with those investments, we can also follow the market, what's going on, and what we can use for ABN AMRO, for our clients, and for our projects. Another project which is interesting to mention, I think, is Pictor, where we are creating a decentralized permission network with the aim to provide digital asset safekeeping and transaction services only for regulated security tokens. And
Martijn, if you look at the
this is in the consortium with
you're cracking.
I'm still there.
Yeah, you're still there, I think. But you're also moving, so that's great. No ambulances need to be called, so that's great. You were mentioning last one. You're dropping off a little bit. You were doing something also with ABN. Was that correct?
With
project called Pictor.
Yeah. So Martijn, what developments are out there that we should be aware of? Again, the same question I also asked Djuri. What is going on out there? You being this large corporate bank, knowing what's going on, being in the center of where everything is developed. You have a huge innovation department within ABN AMRO. What is there that we should be aware of, and what's going on?
So within, you can hear me again, or is it not good, right? Yeah, okay, perfect. So within ABN AMRO, within group innovation, we work on different activities, split up on platform sustainability and digital assets. So we do that with a group of people, also with teams on AI or DLT. So we can make groups around interesting ventures or propositions. So for some we do exploration, which is sometimes further ahead in the time, and others are close by. So I think that the tokenization, so creating digital assets of financial instruments, is definitely something that we see as something to be coming to the market sooner than later, maybe in countries around us as well, and that's something where we are working on as well.
Okay, and so you're also part of the Next Generation Capital team together with me. I love that case, of course, but what do you think that from the point of ABN AMRO perspective, what would be another interesting use case that we can just apply within 2Tokens? Because that was very helpful for us to have a bank on board with all the knowledge and all the input where we worked on. What do you think would be the next 2Tokens use case, which you think from the point of ABN AMRO should be set up?
Yeah, it's a good question, and we have one specific in mind, which is discussed also with 2Tokens, where we would like to create a token for tokenization of a financial asset, where we also would like to apply the ITSA standard and the IWA standards to see what we can learn from that and bring to that perspective as well. So that's something that we are going to do with the 2Tokens project in the coming months.
Martijn, maybe a last question is on the current situation, the pandemic. The impact on the economy, of course, is pretty clear. It's quite devastating for a lot of it. Is this good? Is there a silver lining for tokenization in your view?
Yeah, I think what we see with that on a global scale, that there's a lot of activity on cost reduction. So people are taking a look at what they can do on that side. On the other side, there's a big demand for financial optimization. And with that in mind, the transparency, the increased efficiency of tokenization could be something that is could be an answer there. We as ABN AMRO also involved in some general projects that came out during the COVID period, especially to see if they can help with this. And I think also interesting to mention is that it's not only from abroad, but also in the Netherlands. There's quite a lot of work done by the Dutch Banking Association to make a position paper. It's called the Crypto Assets in Dutch Perspectives. Creating opportunities for the Dutch crypto ecosystem. It's done by ING, Volksbank, Rabobank and ABN AMRO. And the aim is to give better insights in the potential of crypto assets and the associated risks and the benefits for the Dutch economy. And that's also around innovation in digital finance, but then clearly for the Netherlands with some clear ideas what we can do to be also as Netherlands active in this and try to have a kind of a leading role in this token finance ecosystem.
do you have the feeling that this is accelerating, that there's more activity in the space right now than before COVID?
It's difficult to answer because I think that it's for a long time bubbling in the market, and it's coming to the market. Looks like right now, but it could also be because there is now coming some more regulatory certainty to the market in specific countries. So I don't know if it's due to COVID or due to over time.
And maybe a last question for both you, Marleen, and Martijn. If you look at it, if you look at all the activity and tokenization on a scale from 0 to 100, where are we at the moment? Are we very at the beginning, or are we in an intermediate stage, or are we already?
I would say we're just scratching the surface.
So you're under 10.
Yes.
Okay. Martijn, for you?
Let's say 25%.
Okay, so we can expect a lot in the coming years. So that's going to be exciting, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, and so Martijn, I would like to thank you so much for your for being here tonight. Djuri as well. Thank you both, and also of course for the support for the 2Tokens Foundation. You already mentioned it briefly, and of course we're going to talk about one of the use cases that you mentioned basically after this poll. So we're going to first do a quick poll, and the poll is: do you think this pandemic will help the change and changing the attitude toward tokenization? So feel free to vote. I see some votes coming in. You can vote for yes, it certainly will change the attitude and opens new opportunities for tokenization. The other, you can also go for B. That's I would say the easy choice. Yes, but it will change slowly. Or C, no, the pandemic only causes delay in all the projects. That's not a popular vote, I would say.
No.
But yeah, it's also a vote you can have. Or no, after the pandemic, we will continue the same road as before.
Well,
yeah, all interesting. So a lot of votes coming in. We don't have all night, of course. So I'm going to close the votes right now, and we're going to look at the results. There we go. So the results are 55% says yes, it will definitely change the attitude and opens up a lot of new opportunities. So that's great. I think that's a good sign.
I fully agree with it, because you see that boundaries are sort of not there anymore. We work on multiple projects together with people not only in the Netherlands but in every European country by now. You see things happening, what Rabobank mentioned tonight, that they're really considering a local currency, like those kind of things. I think if you would ask that same question to Rabobank 6 or 8 months ago, then this definitely wouldn't be on their map. So in all these negative, and it is a serious situation, of course, I think there's at least one positive thing that we can get out of this.
I mean, I think in general, if you look at this whole pandemic, and it is indeed devastating in many ways and forms, but we need to change a lot of things that we were used to, and this is the time to do so. And so that could be kind of like the new fuel for tokenization, and it is very great to see that large banks, but also large corporates, and a lot of very smart brains and individuals are actually all colliding in order to get this done, because it has a lot of prospect to it, and
also the collaboration I think is new. If like two banks in one initiative, a couple of years ago, that also was strange to think. Everybody is sort of like working together. That's also what we see within the 2Tokens project. There's so many people collaborating: lawyers, technology providers, regulators, banks. The whole ecosystem is really joining together to think of practical situations where there are challenges to be resolved. So and I think the collective wisdom in this case is beneficial.